Let's go ahead and jump on to some Ethereum, because Ethereum is in a very different position than Bitcoin is right now. Bitcoin is in danger of moving too far to the downside, and Ethereum is in danger of moving too far to the upside. Let's explain. Over the last, 16 days, Ethereum is up 56%, and that is a very good thing for anyone holding Ethereum. I am of the opinion that a large portion of this rally was in response and in anticipation, I should say, to the EIP 1559 launch, which has now happened. We've talked about over the last couple of days how EIP 1559 burning 70% of the new incoming supply of Ethereum is basically a halving event for Ethereum, which we've seen happen on Bitcoin before. Whenever you see a halving event happen on Bitcoin, we've seen 3 of them now, you almost always go into a massive bull market. That's a 50% reduction in supply increase on Bitcoin. Here on Ethereum, we've just seen a 70% reduction in supply increase on Ethereum. I think that Ethereum over the next couple of months, if the rest of the market allows for it, could be seeing a massive run back up to $5,000 in just the next few months. I really could see Ethereum going over 5K by the end of the year, and I think that we're going to be at 3,000 here in the next couple of weeks, maybe even the next week or so. There's quite a bit that we need to talk about here on Ethereum, but a lot of it actually doesn't show up on the chart. Some of it actually shows up over here on Etherscan. Ethereum.org has a little bit of a history of Ethereum. I'm not going to go into all of this, but you can see here that the London hard fork did go ahead and go through this morning at midnight UTC, which is over in London. I believe here in the Eastern Standard Time, it happened around 9 o'clock this morning. Not 9 o'clock this morning. I think it happened, when exactly did it take place? It was earlier this morning. I think it was around 5 or 6 a.m. You guys can tell me in the chat. And it's had an interesting impact on the Ethereum price. We've talked about how there's probably going to be a buy the rumor, sell the news event. We've seen over the last 12 hours a dip in Ethereum. Now, the Ethereum, I don't have the number right in front of me, but the EIP 1559 officially launched somewhere in here, and pretty much as soon as it did, we saw a pretty big dip on Ethereum. In fact, depending on where you measure it from, we've seen anywhere between a 4 and a 7% correction on Ethereum just in the last 12 hours. So the question is, what gives? I thought Ethereum was supposed to be very bullish because of EIP 1559. I thought a 70% drop in the supply increase of Ethereum was supposed to be a great thing for the tokenomics of Ethereum. I thought that Ethereum was supposed to explode from this news. This has been the big news in the space for the last 2 weeks. Let's explain. So there's something that occurs very often here in cryptocurrency, and we're actually thinking about starting a new show to address just this topic, where we will get very excited as crypto enthusiasts about a short-term news event. And then what happens is that the price moves and we're happy, great, and within a week we've forgotten about it. And then sometimes we see a major fundamental development like El Salvador adopting Bitcoin happen, and then we forget about it. A lot of times we get so caught up on something the day it launches or the day that it's announced, it's out of our mind a week later because Bitcoin and cryptocurrency moves so dang fast. I mean, even right now, looking at Ethereum, Ethereum is exploding over the last hour. Like literally right now, over the last hour and 9 minutes, Ethereum is up 5%. It's moving on the minute chart. On the minute chart, as I'm speaking, the last 2 minutes, it's up at 1.3%. This is what I'm talking about. Cryptocurrency moves so quickly that oftentimes we forget things. And it's really important that we make sure that 2 weeks ago is not ancient history, because it's not. There are things that have been happening on Bitcoin and Ethereum that are incredibly bullish, and Ethereum Improvement Proposal 1559 is a good example of that. The price action is moving to the upside right now, but whether it moves to the upside or not, I want you to remember that EIP 1559 is a great thing for the long term. If we put it this way, if you guys have, Tim, you've seen the Star Wars movies, right? I think Greg.
Yeah, Greg insulted you ultimately yesterday.
Yeah, what did he say?
He literally was. He said like every time we talk about Star Wars, he's just like, "Can we please not?"
Oh yeah, he
hasn't seen a single movie, and he also hates it. So Greg, if you're listening,
sorry, but I'm about to talk about Star Wars.
This
yeah,
weekend.
So in the very first Star Wars, there's the time where they're like trying to jump to hyperspace, and Han Solo's like, if we miss by 0.05 degrees and we jump into hyperspace, we could end up in a star, right? Because a very tiny change over the course of a long period of time, or in that case, a long distance in space, very small change can make a very big difference. That's exactly what we're seeing here in cryptocurrency. We're seeing a lot of very small, minute changes, like El Salvador adopting Bitcoin, or EIP 1559 coming out, or Amazon allegedly adopting Bitcoin. That came out as not true. I think they're full of it. I still think Amazon's going to be in Bitcoin in the next 2 years, or blockchain maybe. We've seen Tesla talking about it. Over the last year especially, we have seen so many little miniature incremental changes, and every single one of them was big, and then it launched, and everybody forgot about it. You remember 4 months ago, 4, 5, 6 months ago when Michael Saylor got 1,200 industry executives in a room together and they talked about Bitcoin for 2 days? We forgot about that within a week. That's a big freaking deal. You know how many industry executives he got in that room that are from Fortune 500 companies that now are thinking about Bitcoin? It takes a year or more to get a Fortune 500 company to do anything. We shouldn't be surprised that these major corporations are not in Bitcoin anymore. Or excuse me, are not in Bitcoin yet. They're coming. We've seen these little shifts take place. EIP 1559 is a good example. Sure, we might not see massive price action on the short term, or maybe we do, but we can't forget the long-term game here. We are playing a long game, and so many times we get caught up on what is our next move that we forget that there's an entire chess game ahead of us, and if we set the pieces in the right place, we're going to win, even if we make the wrong move on the daily chart. That's what we're seeing on Ethereum and Bitcoin right now. Yes, they might be a little bit bearish. Ethereum, not in the slightest. Ethereum is rallying like crazy right now. Bitcoin, sure, it might see a little bit of a correction, but we got to keep in mind those fundamentals, because if we forget about them, it's going to be a problem. Anyway, I have another article over here from Cointelegraph I want to read a bit of an excerpt from. Traders bullish on Ethereum after hard fork. On altcoins, Ethereum dominated the conversation and bullish forecast for fresh price gains, while the ETH-BTC pair is headed for its third consecutive green weekly candlestick. Ethereum's token could reach new local highs in the coming months after its latest successful hard fork. Nonetheless, although among altcoins, Ethereum has exhibited notable strength against Bitcoin and its hard fork London, referred to as EIP 1559, should catalyze performance further. For the short term, a chance to consolidate recent gains is on the cards, say trader. I completely agree with that. I think that's what we're probably going to see. I'm expecting a short-term top to be happening tomorrow on Ethereum, CoinDesk contributor Michael Van de Pope told Twitter followers Wednesday. I've heard that name before.
Van de Pope?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, we've talked
about him.
Yeah,
we've talked about him. But I totally agree. I think Ethereum is in need of a topping out the same way we saw on Bitcoin. Look, guys, the market's very bullish right now, but I do think we need to see some consolidation, and I think that that is ultimately a very healthy thing for Ethereum. So what happens next on Ethereum? Here's the deal. It's overextended. It's rallied stupidly fast. It's up 56% in under 3 weeks. Let nobody tell you that Bitcoin and Ethereum can't move quick, because by God, they can. What I do need to be careful of is getting too excited on Ethereum for EIP 1559, even though it's a major thing, and forgetting that, technically speaking, a market should top out right about now. On Ethereum, and I'm not talking about today, I'm talking about in the next few days, we are seeing that Ethereum's RSI is sitting up at 70. It's very bullish. We're seeing that there's a MACD bullishness, that there's bullishness on the MACD. We're seeing that Lux Algo has a very strong buy signal, but just like we saw on Bitcoin, healthy correction is a good thing.